Hi, Antra. Can you see me?
I can, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, I think we are ready. Good to see you, Antra, today.
Good to see you too, Divya. Thank you for having me.
So, Antra, welcome to our platform, Say Cheese. We are very excited to have you with us today. I know it's been very busy time for you, and there is lots happening at your end, which we'd love to know a little more about. But this is our inaugural week at Say Cheese, and we've uh, launched our mobile app at around uh, 3 a.m. day before yesterday, the iOS. So that's what's making me very excited. It's amazing to have all of us connect on app and then uh, YouTube live stream and then be able to meet with a such a large base of audience. So the interactions of technology is absolutely amazing. That's happening for us now.
Many congratulations. It's not easy to get a tech product live. I've advised dozens of companies. Nobody has made it to this level. I believe only 1% of tech companies make it to app level. So congratulations. Well
Thank
done. It's a really decent app and very easy for me. I'm belong to a different generation. I think it's very hard for me to adopt technology, but this was very simple to do. And I'm very excited for you guys.
How lovely. Thank you for your kind words. It's been a long journey, but it's all worth it when it ends well. So that's what we are most excited about. So, getting on with the
Well begun
topic,
is
we
half
have
done.
very impressive bio, Antra. I'd love to read it out. It gives me a lot of joy. Antra Bhargava is formerly CEO of SuVitas, an award winning and pioneering healthcare startup in transition care and skilled nursing care that was recently acquired by Delhi based HCAH, which is backed by the founders of Dabur and HCAH UK. Antra now heads expansion for the group, and I believe you're taking on a lot more additional responsibilities. Ms. Bhargav is also founder and managing trustee of the Wow Kitty, a charity focused on women empowerment through financial independence, a law graduate from Trinity College, Dublin, and a qualified chartered accountant. Antra was one of India's first and youngest female black belt in Taekwondo, a Korean martial art. She was also the first and youngest female referee for the sport in the Indian National Games in 1998. She is the creator of PACE, PACE, a model to help people of all genders and ages to become personal safety habits, to build personal safety habits, which she has taught to over 20,000 people. Author of an award winning thesis on gender diversity on corporate boards, Antra is also a published poet and is raising two strong, joyful daughters. How wonderful, Antra! Such an impressive profile.
Thank you. It sounds
Okay,
nice when
so
you say it.
thank you. You're very kind. Women as leaders, that's the topic for today, Antra. And I can't think of anyone more qualified to tell us more about this topic. So, before we really get into the nitty gritties, nuts and bolts, what really does it take to be one?
So I think whether you're a woman leader or a male leader or a non-binary leader, leadership today has evolved to really be very situation specific, very industry specific. But I think if you leave the literature aside, the academia aside, if you are able to inspire people with your vision such that they become co-owners of that vision and they're making things happen without you telling or asking, and that's the culture that you build, irrespective of whether you're doing it in the business field, in the social services field, in the political field. When you build that culture that people are doing what you want them to do without you even needing to articulate, much less instruct, that's leadership, right? So building those circles of influence as a leader, it has its own unique challenges for women, right? Especially in the professional context, for which we'll restrict ourselves today. But you'll find that once you start down that habit, I believe in habits, right? Everything is about building habits. Your mindset, your actions must drive habits. It goes from your conscious to your subconscious brain. It becomes part of your, what we like to call, personality. right? I think if you choose to build leadership habits, it'll impact every aspect of your life. You can't be a leader at work and a follower at home. You'll be a leader in every aspect of your life. And I think women have traditionally faced many challenges to become leaders. And once we start doing that and we understand and we have the tools and techniques to do that, because there's a lot of research done. For 40 years, people have been researching this. The information is out there. The problem is accessing that information, simplifying it. And then the most difficult part is changing our own habits. Very easy to tell people, very difficult to change yourself. And what I'd love to do is to see more women, young women, older women, women of any age and color, any ability, to build strong leadership habits and a culture around them and empower others at the same time. That's what I'd love to see. And that's why I chose this topic, because I think there are very many practical things that people can do that we are just not aware of.
Wonderful. So it looks like there are a lot of layers to this. It's not as simple as like a step 1, 2, 3 to become a leader. There are a lot of layers. So tell me,
Right.
what holds us back? I mean, why can't each one of us be a leader?
So, I mean, I think everyone can. Let me start with that. Can is a statement of ability. We all have the ability. Nobody, these generic statements that you have it in you. It, we all have it in us. Why don't we? Some of it is circumstances, and we cannot control some external circumstances. A lot of it is social conditioning. Okay, so if you look at why, we'll keep the topic on women, why women do not achieve leadership status. In general, there are three categories of reasons. The first is institutional. The way that companies or institutions are built, there is a structural bias. It's insidious. It's not something you can hold on to, against women, right? And that exists, and it's very difficult to combat. The second category is society, which we are all aware. Societal norms exist in a certain format, and we are operating in that environment, and so social conditioning plays a role. But the third and the most interesting category of reason is called the personal category of reason, where we hold ourselves back. And it starts with something as simple as allowing social conditioning to define our actions and our thoughts. We are conditioned to think of other women as competitors. That doesn't mean that's rationally the correct thing to do. The moment you're aware that you're treating another woman as a competitor, I get onto the Say Cheese app. I'm having this interview with Divya. Divya is a very attractive, intelligent woman. Why is my first thought not, let's collaborate and do something better? Why is my first thought, oh, I don't like what she's wearing, I want to go talk about her? I'm not saying that's what happened, but that is what happens with a lot of people. So our first thought should be to harness our self-awareness and say, okay, no, if I find that woman attractive, I'm going to collaborate. I'm going to build a herd, a tribe, right? And encourage that mentality. Stop that culture where we need to pull each other down. Stop it. Pretend it doesn't exist. Ignore it. Cancel that culture completely, right? So that's one aspect. And that leads immediately to the next, which is collaboration. We are not taught to collaborate. We don't often play team sports as young children. We are not taught the beauty of safe touch because we don't play touch sports. And I'm speaking for the masses. I'm not talking for the privileged few of us who've have access to liberal families and great schools with all of that. I'm talking about the masses. And the masses are what should define our thinking in this space, because they are the ones that are held back, right? So when you don't play team sports, you're not confident of touch, you're going to behave, you're going to hold your body a certain way. That's all conditioning. So you need to liberate from that, right? You need to say, okay, no, I will sit straight. I will not be conscious of my body. I will not be conscious of my cleavage. That's not what defines me. What defines me is my brain, my articulation, my communication skills. And I am not perfect in any of that. So the next part is fear of failure. Women are not taught to fail. We're not taught to fall and get up. We're taught to be afraid. We must be pristine. We must be perfect. Nothing we do can be wrong. We must be allowed to fail. Failure is a very important attribute. We must learn to bounce back. And lastly, but not least, I mean, there's a long list. In fact, one particular researcher calculated there are 10,000 hurdles for a woman to achieve leadership. A group of researchers identified 10,000 individual reasons why women don't become leaders. But last and not least is us being able to handle conflict, work with other people, right? And I think those are all soft skills that can be taught, which is why if there are skills that can be taught, anybody can be a leader. It has to start with you. Are you willing to put in the effort to be self aware and change your habits? That's how actually the Wow Kitty Trust was formed. Because when I was doing the research and I realized that I was holding myself up because I didn't have a great tribe of women around me, and I went to the next event with the mindset that if I see a woman that I find attractive, I'm going to find a way to talk to her. And I went up to two random women. It was very embarrassing and awkward, and I wasn't confident of myself at all. I felt like I was going to ask somebody on a date, right? And women don't do that. We are not taught to do that. But I went up, I found a way to talk to them. They were so interesting. They invited me for some other event where the idea for the Wow Kitty Trust was formed. And now we have 70 women who collaborate, and we've done just this year, we've done 125 zero interest loans to rural female farmers, right? Overall, in the last 6 years, we've done 3,000 interest free loans just by being a kitty party that puts our money into other women than into coffees and donuts and cake, right? So the power that we have, Divya, is very, very interesting. And I think seeing more examples of women like us who collaborate in the public is very helpful. So I think that's what holds us back, and that's what we can do, because anything that holds us back, any problem has a solution.
How incredibly beautifully spoken about, Antra. I mean, this is, and there's so much that you said in so little time. I wish I could just hold on to, the minutes, and I'm definitely going to go through this again. But how incredible, and I love the idea of reaching out and talking to people, and what a beautiful adventure you made for yourself after that with the whole Kitty Trust that you mentioned. I mean, there's just so much of work over there. So tell me something. I get the part about soft skills, and another area that I hear a lot about is the whole personal branding and how we present ourselves, and the conversations that we make. So is there a method to it? I mean, is there a way that we start right?
Absolutely. I think let's start by the fact that building your personal brand is not a bad thing. Most women are taught not to talk about themselves, and society and your environment will condition you not to brag, to be aggressive, to be assertive. It's a bad thing when a woman does it. It's a good thing when a man does it, right? So women should be shy, should be subservient. You should look down when you talk. That is the social conditioning of the population. Don't hold it against them. You are more attractive as a woman if your chin is down and your eyes are up. Did you know that? That's why a lot of the photographs and the culture around us, how we see ourselves, the kind of photos we take, we don't stand like this. Very few of us stand like this. We always kind of curl up and try to take photos. Even a lot of the models do it. So, number one, be comfortable with the idea of selling yourself as a product or as a service or as the company you want to be seen. Right? Number one, that's what personal branding is about. It's telling that story about yourself that you want others to tell about you. Brand is nothing but reputation. If you want to control your reputation, you must build your brand. Otherwise, people will say what they like about you. So be very careful around, first be comfortable. You have to be authentic. You can't build a personal brand or say, I'm going to be, I don't know, I know people who do this, but so I don't want to make a comment about that. But say I'm going to be the best, the most knowledgeable person about, say, crystals, and they know jack shit about crystals, but they know crystals is suddenly the trending topic on Instagram. No, you have to be authentic. You have to be a subject matter expert. Subject matter expertise brings confidence in itself. Really know your subject. And very few women are encouraged to be that in the depth of a subject, right? To be truly professional, to know that subject inside out. Could be anything. Could be, for example, building communities, the entire sociology around it, right? So be a subject matter expert, be confident. Next thing, what is it that you want people to say about you? Be very clear. Nobody can remember more than three things about any topic of conversation. So give them only three things to think about you. What are the three top things about Divya? What would you like anybody to say about Divya? Right? For example, what are the three things I want people to say about me? One, from a professional perspective, I want everybody to only speak about me living a life of service. I choose to work in healthcare for that reason. I choose to talk about empathy for that reason. I am patient centric for that reason. All my choices in life are around social impact. So I live a life of service. It's the same hashtags I use. It is the language of my career. It is the language of my life. Right? Similarly, I would like people to say she's attractive, but not in an overtly uh, sexual way, but in a confident, I would be happy to be seen with her. Let's invite her. Let's be seen with her. Let's be somebody who, can open doors for you. It helps me. It helps me in my sales. It helps me in my boardroom conversations. And I know where the boundaries to draw around that are, which a lot of people don't, right? Because I want to enjoy beauty in art. I want to enjoy it in poetry. It is part of who I am. So I'm not going to shy away and look like a typical chartered accountant, with my glasses on and my, face unshaven. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live a certain kind of life, right? And the third aspect is she's subject matter expert in business, right? So when I speak about business, I speak about cash flow, I speak about EBITDA. I'm not afraid to do sales. I'm not afraid to do the grunt work. I'm happy to build businesses, right? When I talk, I speak about business first. I love it. It's in my DNA now, right? So those are the three things I like people to think about me. And those are the three things I present, whether on social media or in conversations in living rooms. That's my personal brand. It's not just a designation or a tagline. You got to live your personal brand. There's a reason why I went off Instagram as an influencer. I went and deleted those 3,000 odd followers that I had for that reason. I did not want to be uh, followed by sari lovers. I wanted to be followed by people who uh, wanted to pursue a certain dialogue, right, on business or on life of service or legacy, not on um, clothing. I didn't want free stuff. So you got to pick where you're operating and build that ecosystem. The messaging, the communication around that has to be consistent and authentic. And you got to be unafraid, unapologetic to be that. It's a very enjoyable ride when you do it.
Very well said, Antra. It's a combination of knowing yourself. I think it's a combination of being authentic, and it's also about confidence. I think it's a combination of all of these things which help us present ourselves, to everyone around us.
Absolutely. And confidence is nothing but habit building again. I think so many people have said this over the years. Fake it till you make it. None of us are confident the first time we have to get on stage. We all get the butterflies. None of us are confident the first time we have to do something new. We're all afraid of failure. We're all equally insecure about what we look like, what we sound like, whether we know our shit or not. We're all in the same boat. But what differentiates a leader is that doesn't hold them back. They don't stop because of that. They get up, they do it. They do it again and again and again and again till it becomes second nature. Today, the same conversation I'm having with you or the topics I'm discussing with you, I have discussed many, many, many times in many fora. So confidence is natural, right? and
Correct.
and therefore practice. Habit is built by practice. Confidence comes from practice and subject matter expertise. If you know what you're talking about, you will be confident. If you don't, you will stutter and stammer. And even if you actually know what you're talking about and you haven't practiced it, you will be seen as ignorant. That's the beauty. You have to have both aspects. You have to have the practice and you have to have the knowledge. If you don't have either one of them, you'll be caught out in the long run.
Very true. Very true. So we're almost at the end of the session, and I wish we could go on, but unfortunately, we are at the end of the session. Is there any message for all the women? We have 10,000 women who've already registered on the SeCheez website. While the app is new, the website has been around for a while, and there are a lot of people who are there for reasons of career, health, relationships, which is really what our main aim is, to encourage women to become better versions of themselves and ask for help, in any of these areas, whether it's with each other or it's with the experts on board or with the various learning modules that we have. Is there a message that you'd like to give to all of them who are struggling in their own way?
So I'm going to be very corny, Divya. I'm not one for like big grand messages because each person takes what they want out of every story, right? But your app, I have no idea why you all came up with the name Say Cheese. But we don't say cheese. We say cheese before a camera, but we don't. We're all afraid of our teeth are not nice. We don't look good when we smile and laugh. We all want to hide. I think the message I have for people is just keep practicing saying cheese in front of you. Be comfortable with who you are. And if you don't like who you are, then damn it, change. You're not stuck. This is not the end of your life. This is a work in progress journey. We are all WIP, right? We're all evolving. We all have that opportunity. Keep saying cheese. Keep smiling. Keep practicing, not hiding, speaking, studying, doing whatever it takes to get you to the other side. One foot in front of the other. There is no miracle here. There is no shortcut to success. Whatever you want to be, visualize it, make it happen one step at a time. Sometimes you'll fail. It's okay. Pick yourself up. We all have that time of the month. You know what I mean? If nothing else, when we think the world is shit, we'll get up and make it happen again. We live in the most difficult times. I think we should give ourselves a pat on the back for existing. You know what I mean? Through it. And I think everybody deserves to live the most joyful life they can. That's all we can do. End of the day, all the big problems come down to this. Can you be as joyful as you can every single day? And that's what I want for all of you, for every single person. I just want you to live the best, most joyful life you can.
Wonderful. We will certainly practice every day saying cheese a lot more. Thank you so much for your time today, Antra. Absolutely enthralling session. I had a
My,
lovely time.
my pleasure. I had a lovely time speaking to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Toodles.